Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this KEFEYA D1 23.8-inch multifunction smart display. So this is provided to me by the distributor, but they're not compensating me for this video and they're not reviewing it before I post it. If you find this video helpful and you want to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So if we look at the back here, we have some specs. I'll go over a few of these. Resolution is 1080p. It has an IPS display. Input is Type-C. It comes with monitor, USB-C to USB-C cable, HD to mini HD cable, USB-A to USB-C cable, USB-A to USB-A cable, USB-C to USB-C cable, and power adapter. This supports landscape and portrait modes. So let's get this open. So here we have all the cables. Now these cables can be for different things. Looks like they're taped down. Like this here has a little green label and it says for power only, so you do want to make sure you pay attention to those things. This one has one, it says for video only, so I'll leave those in there for a minute. So here we have the monitor. It looks like we have a little kind of quick guide here. So this shows the different parts of the monitor. This talks about the menu. It says press and hold for 1 second to confirm. It has a menu selection confirmation button. Press and hold for 2 seconds to return. Then it has minus and plus buttons for brightness and volume. So the way this works is to adjust the backlight. You press minus first, and then you press plus or minus to adjust it. And if you want to adjust the volume, you press the plus first. So between the minus and plus, the button you press first is going to determine what you're adjusting. Power button, it says press and hold for 3 seconds to shut down. So it says operation steps, expand the monitor. So it looks like it unfolds. It has a stand that folds open. You place the monitor on it. You can rotate it 90 degrees. So we will check that out. This talks about connecting it to a laptop. So you can use USB Type-C. And then you plug the monitor into an outlet. This talks about using HDMI port. Looks like it has a built-in USB hub. And then here we have a user guide. I'm guessing this is going to be mostly the same things. Yeah. So let's get this out. Here we have the power adapter. This is, I think it said it was 30 watt. Yep. We'll get the monitor out. So there's a handle over here. Get this out of the way. I'll pull this out of the sleeve. There we have the monitor. So it looks like I need to lift up here. Flip that over and then lift this up. So this is the actual monitor portion. So I'll set that aside. Take this foam out of here. And there are some instructions written in here also. So I'm going to fold this. Looks like this is going to go up. And there's rubber along this edge and there's rubber here. So that will set up like that. Then we have the place where the monitor mounts here. So before we put the monitor on there, let's take a look at the back of the monitor. So this does have a VESA mount, so you can hook it up to a traditional monitor stand. Looks like that might be a speaker. And then we have menu, plus minus power, headphone, Type-C 1, Type-C 2, mini HDMI. Then we have USB A1, USB A2. So this should just magnet onto the stand, I think. So we'll pull the stand out here. Clicked right in place. So here we have a little note in the corner. It says, due to the high power consumption of the D1 screen, if the screen brightness is insufficient or the screen cannot be turned on, a standard power adapter in the gift box should be connected to adjust the brightness. Pull that off. So I'll turn off my light here so we don't have the glare. So this can be adjusted down now. So that clip had a spring in it. Now if we want to rotate it, we'll put it to the highest position and then we'll rotate, looks like to the left. There. Now when it's in this position, it's not really going to slide up and down very much. So we can press that all the way down and the weight will hold it down. Now let's see, the angle can be adjusted by just adjusting the stand. So I'll slide it closed more. That will be more upright. And I can let it down to have it flatter. So I'll do it about like that. So again, the cables are on the back of this. So I'm going to get the power cable out here. So I'll go to the back of the monitor here and I'll find the power. I'm actually just going to pull the monitor off. So for the first setup, I plugged into Type-C 1 to power, and then I have the mini HDMI, and I'll plug that into mini HDMI here. So I can plug that mini HDMI into anything that outputs HDMI. So I'll get this connected back up now. I'll plug this into power. The monitor turned on. So here I have a mini PC. I'll plug into the HDMI. I'll power it on. And the display is up. So this looks really, really nice right now. Has a nice crisp image. Now if I was sitting at a desk, I would probably put this up a little bit taller, like so. There we go. Now I can adjust the brightness on the side. So it's the two middle buttons. So here we have it at full brightness. And if I press the second button, I can adjust the volume. So I don't anticipate this is going to have super loud speakers, but if it's the only speaker you have, you can use it. Otherwise, you could use external speakers. Now the top button was menu. So here we have basic controls like you'd see on any monitor for brightness, contrast, and other settings. Now we can rotate the display. So that will rotate to the left. Now you do need to rotate your settings in Windows or Mac or whatever system you're using. So I'll go to my settings and I will go to display. So we're in the display settings. We can go to display orientation and I'll go to portrait mode. Now if we're going to rotate it this way, that's not going to be right. So I'll say revert. It will actually revert on its own here in a second if I can't click on it. And we'll go to portrait flipped. So now I'll rotate it and I'll say keep changes. And now we have it in portrait mode. So if you're working on a long document, this mode can be great. So I will switch that back, and it's very easy to rotate. I really like that about this. So if you work on the go and you want a portable monitor, I think this is a great option. You can use this, and you can use it with a laptop, but if you don't have a laptop, you can even use one of these small PCs, which could potentially take up less room than a laptop. So this could be great for like remote work or like a trade show booth or something. This could also be a good option in an RV. Next, I'll hook it up to a laptop. Okay, so I now have this hooked up to my MacBook. So I have the monitor plugged into power, and I have the laptop hooked up to the display with USB-C. So this is currently hooked up in extended mode. If I go to my system settings and then go to displays, I can go to arrange, and we're showing the external display to the right. So if I drag this, well, I can't really drag this right now. Let's see, I can drag this. It will go to the right, but I'll change this so this is above, about like that. Now I can drag up. So if I make a new window here, I can drag this up to the top. And I can use both my displays. Now at this angle, this can actually sit above this. If I was sitting, it would block off a small portion of that. And that might be okay for some people, depending on what you're doing. Or a person might be taller enough to look over it. If I'm at normal sitting height, it might block off just a tiny little sliver of the screen. But the nice thing about this is that you could take this and move it to the right or left. So here I've moved it off to the side. I could go back into my display settings and then reorient the monitor to the right or left side. And now my monitor is at a similar level here. So you don't have to move your eyes around a lot. So with a traditional monitor, typically they might be off the desk a little bit further. This puts it right down to the same work surface as your laptop. But it gives you numerous options here. So here we have a Nintendo Switch. I can plug into it with the USB-C cable. Now this is not going to charge the Switch. And here we can see the screen up here. And of course it has system update. But a monitor like this could be great for portable gaming. So if you're having a party with people and you're playing multiple games, you can easily carry this. It's easy to transport. It doesn't take up much room. So I'm hooking this up to the Switch, but you could also hook this up to Xbox and PlayStation using HDMI. So here's a little of what that looks like. When we're done using this, we want to make sure it's up, and we'll just pop it off and disconnect the cords. I've already done that. We'll set that aside. Take the stand, we'll flatten it out. Make sure that handle's open. Lay it down. We'll take the monitor. We want to make sure the raised side is by the handle, and we'll just clip it in here. And we'll flip this over. I don't think it's in quite all the way. There we go. Now we'll go down, and now we have a carry handle to carry this. So that's the KEFEYA D1 23.8 inch multifunction smart display. I really like how easy this is to set up and use. In storage, you have the stand that protects the display itself, has a carry handle, then you can unfold it and turn it into a traditional monitor. A nice feature of this is that you can have portrait and landscape mode without having a separate base. It supports USB-C and HDMI input, so you can use this with computers, media devices, and gaming consoles. A monitor like this would be great for remote work, trade show booths, RVs, or anywhere where space is tight. If you don't need a monitor on a regular basis, you can easily stow this away and bring it out when you need it. So this could be good for like van life, tiny homes. This really gives you a lot of features that you may not even find in a regular monitor of the same size. So if you're looking for a large portable monitor, I think this is a great option. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you liked this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.